Thank my colleague, Senator Whitehouse.
Thanks very much. This is, I'm going to make an off-topic comment and then an on-topic comment. The off-topic comment is because the elephant in the capital city today is that our Republican colleagues and the president have shut down the U.S. government as of last night. And they've done so for a really extraordinary reason, which is to take away Americans' affordable care health benefits. The Affordable Care Health benefits don't just land in Democrat states, they land in Republican states. Polling shows that Republicans want, real live voting Republicans want, the Affordable Care benefits to be extended. So all we're asking is that Republicans do something that they should be doing anyway because it's the right thing to do and because it will benefit their own constituents and because their own constituents actually want it. That shouldn't be a hell of an ask. But it's an ask that is apparently so awful to Republicans that they'll shut down the government instead of sitting down and talking with us about solving that problem. This is a very significant cost problem for my state. I know it's not the focus of this hearing, but this is the first hearing we've had since Republicans put us into shutdown, and I can't not discuss that elephant in the room. We're not shutting down and cutting health care benefits. Republicans are shutting down to cut health care benefits. There's an off-ramp as wide as the world to solve this. All they have to do is agree that maybe just a moment's bipartisanship and solving a real problem for real constituents should be the order of the day. The other cost issue that I want to raise that is relevant to these proceedings, and I hope folks out there from crypto, AI, and data center world are listening, is the cost problem of electric bills. We could solve a lot of the problems that AI, crypto, and big data centers are causing if this industry, which is going to make billions and billions of dollars, I feel like Carl Sagan there, billions and billions of dollars, would simply do the responsible thing and bring its own clean energy to the grid with it. That ought not to be asking too much. The choice not to do that and to simply dump this added demand onto the grid has a very predictable effect. When you add all that demand to a fixed supply, what happens? Prices go up. That's supply and demand, the elementary theory of market economics. So all of these new facilities are going to be driving electric utility bills up for regular customers. And I hope the industry will think about, I mean, I get that you've got this huge political runway with the Trump administration, and you can basically go raiding and pirating through the political world right now. But at some point, you know, you only get one chance to make a first impression. And if your first impression to the world is, we're not going to take care of our own energy supply. Instead, we're going to drop into your grid and make all of your electric rates go up by a ton because we're not willing to be responsible. You're going to have to live with that for the rest of this industry's life. And then it's not just added demand for fixed supply. This administration is trying to damage electric supply by taking out the clean energy sources that provided 95% of the new additions to the grid last year. For an industry that needs more electrons to sit quietly on its hands while an administration that it virtually controls on everything having to do with crypto and AI destroys the clean energy sources that can provide those electrons, I don't get it. That makes no sense. But it makes that supply-demand price increase to regular Americans way, way worse. because now you're not just adding huge new demand onto the grid, you're also pinching off the real supply that's waiting and that is out there. And the last point I'll make, if you'll forgive me for one more minute, is that we are verging on having very serious climate-related economic catastrophes. I'm not going to go into all the details of it, but look no further than the Florida home insurance market. Look no further than the warnings about what happens when the insurance markets collapse, mortgages are not available, property values collapse, and you have a 2008-style meltdown because we aren't taking climate change seriously, but the insurance industry has to, and banks have to, and that's where this leads. So when this gets ugly, which it will, and this industry has shown up and not been responsible about bringing its own clean energy to the grid, and instead is loading up not only on electric prices for everybody else around them, but also requiring more polluting units to be brought back online to meet their demand, worsening the climate situation, there's going to be a reckoning. And I just urge whoever is listening, who is making decisions and policy and plans for this industry, think about what you're doing to regular consumers of electricity nearby. Think about why you would want to not help the clean energy industry provide you the electrons you need, and think why you would want to drive us backwards on the perilous climate path we're on, because that's what you're doing right now. Thank you.